What's up, everybody? It's your favorite mercenary's favorite nerd, and I just want to say before we get started with this video that this is on loan to me from Joe KW, aka Uncle Dolphin, one of the co-hosts of Nerd Rage Radio, and also a co-host of Beers and Bolters 40K podcast. So check those out. But also, I want to thank him for letting me take a look at this figure. It may have changed the way I view 1/6. Let's continue. I've looked at a few 1/6 scale figures now. That Shredder figure, Sideshow Deadpool figure, the Hot Toys Vader, and the Sideshow Jawas, and then the DeLorean, but that doesn't really count. And I've been like, you guys are being duped by this line, but this one is extremely well done. There's a few little limitations and a few little problems that come with the territory of 1/6, but it's pretty good. We're going to talk about the pros, we're going to talk about the cons, but first we're going to talk about all these accessories. So we have a wide array of hands. We have holding hands. We'll talk about this one. Holds the sword. And the sword itself is all nicely done. Like the handle is nicely sculpted, and then the blade is an actual metal, and it has a good weight to it and all that kind of stuff. Feels great. The gloves, I'll talk about one, and then they all are pretty much the same. We have the red sculpted textures and black textures. So everything that you see is sculpted in. There's no paint tricks or anything like that to make that happen. It's all sculpt work. The paint is on the buckles and the little seams. It has a dry brush, like a brown dry brush on the black, and then I'm gonna guess a light black, but it might be like a dark brown wash on the red. So in order to give like the dirty look, and it works well, and he holds the sword extremely well, and he has left and right holding hands. Only problem with that is that the other accessory, and he comes with two of those swords, by the way, the other accessory that he has is this knife, and he doesn't really hold this one all that well, not in this hand anyway. And you know, I'm not completely unfamiliar with problems in holding things. And then for a size comparison, we're going to use Tiger Trip for the love of God. But the blade, this is plastic, painted silver, and then all the handle work is all sculpted, so that's nice. Then we have two pistol holding hands, and they hold the guns extremely well. Same details throughout on the hand. I think these are Desert Eagles. I'm not a big gun guy, but you can actually, let me see if I can. That's pretty cool. Cock back the unit, and then it's got the bullet in the chamber. So that's a nice touch. Oh, there we go. And the clip is removable as well, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it is doable, and it also has fully loaded 16 in the clip and 1 in the hole. Anyway, then we have, let's see, thumbs up hand and an A-OK hand, a hand, pointing hand, and then two posing hands that you can do a number of different things with, and that's the hands. He also comes with a selection of different eyes. We'll talk about this real quick. There's like a surprised eyes, and then like a Futurama meme face eyes, what I call it, like the little squinting eyes, like I don't trust you. And then two sets of eyes that or this is, I guess, more relaxed, and then this is slightly angry. But I think that there's plenty of room to make him emote a little bit more, and the options here aren't the best. Like, I could have used these, and I think we could have done something a little bit more with these two. In order to switch them out, though, it is pretty cool. You come with this tool, has the Deadpool symbol on it, and the backs of these are all metal. And when you just go up to the figure, take the eye off, put another eye on. So that's pretty cool. Comes with a sheath for his back. It's magnetized. We'll look at it here in a bit. It is dry brushed with a brown and a silver to give a worn look. That's 2 layers of dry brush, so that's nice. That's impressive. That's passion. I like that. And it looks good as the wear, and then both swords fit in just fine. Actually, it's fairly well tensioned. And then he also comes with 2 of these little things, and I've been looking for a place to put them. I can't figure it out, so I don't know. I think it's kind of silly ultimately if it doesn't. I'm sure it has to have a place. Maybe I'll take a closer look as we go through the figure, but I couldn't figure it out. But they have a chrome finish on it, and they look nice. I just don't know what you would do with them. Replacement parts wise, he comes with 2 wrist joints here, and then also these clips, and from what I can tell, it looks like they're the pieces that go around his neck. If they should fail on you, you have replacements, so that's thoughtful. And storage wise, you can put the knives in there, and they go all the way down and sit flush. He has holsters on both thighs that you can fit the gun in. I do wish that these sat a little better. There is this block in there. Can you see that? It's like, you see the little corner of it. That seems to be what's really getting in the way, and you could probably take that out, but it's not mine, and I don't feel comfortable doing it. But it sits in there, and on a display I think it'll be fine, but if you were to have his leg up or anything, it's gonna fall out. Like, it's barely in there. And then the scabbard is magnetized, and it just goes right on the back, and no problems there, and I dig that. And he also comes with one of the best display bases I've ever seen. It's got this nice like plaque down here at the bottom. Has a protective coat on there. I'm not going to take that off. And then the top of it has the Deadpool movie symbol. It's like a different textures, like a rougher texture here, and then like a more like these are engraved a bit, and then it's like a smooth glossy finish on that and the blood and all that stuff. And then it has the stand, and I'll raise the camera up a taste. This piece here, in order to install this, you just unscrew this top piece, and then this slides on, and then you have the little let's see, clip here, and you can spin this around here. You might have to tighten this up as you do so, but that's not a big deal. And then you just open this up and clip them in, and then the stand itself, the pole here, so to speak, is metal. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it. And you can also, it is bendable, so you can put it in some pretty extreme poses and such. So that's pretty cool. And this rod also screws into the bottom of the stand, so it's very secure. So let's talk about them. The head is actually on a double ball peg, it feels like, from the neck into the chest, but not from the head into the neck, which is interesting. Like, there's no joint here, it's all here to here, which does make it look good, but the range isn't the best. So you get down to there, up to there, and then the swivel. Now, these are the little clips here and here that are replaceable. And I also wanted to show you removing the eyes. There, that other one's in there pretty good. But there you go. And then you would put the new eye in. Turns out that this was a little bit of a, maybe not the best idea. Okay, so, and then for the head detailings, eyes are painted. They have like a glossy finish on the eyeball themselves, and then the black just seems to be flat. It has that same wash on the helmet. I mean the helmet, the head, and the head is all sculpted. So this is all sculpted plastic, and it matches pretty well to the jacket. Now, red is a hard color to shoot, so the color may seem a little off to you guys, but in hand it's pretty close. And then we had this shading wash all along the seams and in the wrinkles of the mask, and of course you have the little tip there, which is known for, so to speak. Yeah, and I think that pretty much covers it. The wash is clever. Like, it's not just slopped on there or thrown on there. It's like done heavy at the seams and stuff, and then lighter in other areas. So it does seem pretty real. Moving down for the torso, it seems like we have. Let me see here. Yeah, it feels like a double ball peg. Might be a single from chest to abdomen, and then a single from abdomen to pelvis. So you get, I don't want to go too far, but you get that much of a swivel, which I think is more than enough. And back the other way, you get all the way down to there for ab crunch, so that's nice, and then back a little bit. So I think that all works fairly well. Detailing is the same sort of wash. It is a bit heavier on the chest, but I'm okay with it. It's not distracting or anything. This is where I felt like maybe these things would go, like maybe they would be magnetized, but they're not. And then I don't know if you could put them in the strap here. This strap is one of the issues I just have with 1/6 scale figures. So the strap is here, and then it comes down to here, and it goes around the back, but it just lacks the weight. You just can't replicate that weight, because it should sit You know, it should like almost be pulling down on him, and it's not. It's floating because physics, I guess. And then you have this shoulder piece here and here. On the instructions, they warn you not to go beyond this amount of articulation. They say basically don't force it. So that's a bummer. That's fairly limited. And then straight up you get to about there, but once again the suit kind of starts getting in your way, and back to there. There is a bicep swivel. The arm itself, I think it's a ball hinge, like a disc hinge shoulder with a ball peg into the chest, because you can get it out in front of them a little bit as well for a butterfly joint. Bicep swivel, once again limited because the suit starts to morph around it. Double jointed elbow, that gets you a good range, and it looks pretty good. It bunches up a little bit here, but it's not the worst. I've seen worse. And then the wrists are on ball hinges. Let me take these off. Now, I did a little bit of research on this guy on some Googles beforehand. Once again, the same kind of wash throughout. It is a bit heavier on the arms, but it's not hateful. And then we have this leather strap around with the buckles and stuff. But people have been complaining that the wrist gauntlets are too tight, and they've been wearing down at the seams of the fabric here around the wrists. I haven't noticed it too much on Joe's. I see a little bit of evidence of it, but it's so slight. It's almost like it's just kind of taken off the wash that's applied to it there, but nothing really beyond that. You can have a look at the wrist hinge here. It's just a ball hinge. You would think, yeah, it swivels at the wrist, and then the hand also swivels on there, so you can get pretty much any movement you want out of it, and I'll demonstrate that here. You can get the up, down, swivel, and then if you turn the joint, you can get in and out. So that's all cool in the gang. Moving down the figure, we have these leather belts. Once again, this is a complaint I have with this scale figure. Is it doesn't look like the belts have weight. It doesn't look like the pouches have weight to them. And it normally wouldn't bother you, but something that's so kind of photoreal looking, it does, for me, it throws off the suspension of disbelief. But the pouches are all done in this leather. They look good. All the little buckles and stuff are all real. They're on there. And then you have the clip for the Deadpool symbol, and then you have a different style pouch here on the back, and it has washes on, not washes, it's dry brushed here on the back, and then it looks like the leather has been washed. So that's all nice. And then we have the underbelt, which is connected to this piece and to the holsters underneath, and that's done pretty well as well. Let's see, moving down, same sort of red detailings. This black is just a flat black. There's nothing added to that, and that does throw me off a little bit too, only because the chest and arms are so filthy, and it just looks like the black gets away with it. Like he only gets dirt on the red. Moving down, we have the holsters, which are plastic. They're attached to this piece. Once again, this doesn't give that realistic feeling because this doesn't really wrap around the leg. Theoretically, this would be pulling tight against the holster piece here, which would be pulling this to the leg, but because because it's not a real thing, it doesn't do that, and it does throw it off for me. It may not be a big deal for you, and that's fine. And then the same thing for the pouches down here. We do have the additional pouch band here on the thigh and not on this one. They also tell you here that don't go beyond this angle, which is okay. You do get a little bit of this crotch issue going on. That's another 1/6 scale problem with real clothes and stuff. Is it looks like it's hammer time, right? And then you can get it forward a fair bit. Almost straight out, so that's cool. And then nothing really to the back, but I'm okay with that. Thigh swivel's built into the bottom of that. That feels like a universal to me, but I could be wrong. Thigh swivel's built into the bottom of that. We got a double jointed knee that gets you a great range. Gets a little clumpy there in the back, but overall I think it works pretty well. And then we have these leather type, or it's like a rubbery plastic is what they use for the shin guards, which to me is not the best material, but it doesn't throw you off when you're looking at it, only when you're touching it. And then it's also dry brushed and washed, so that looks nice. And then for the shoes, or the boots rather, we have what feels like ball joints, which get you an ankle tilt up and down, and then the rocker is on there as well, so that works well. And then they're dry brush at the bottom for dirt, and then all the sculpt work is done with the straps and the buckles and the laces and the do. So that's good as well. So yeah, Pretty functional. Big old zipper in the back if you want to undress them. But yeah, pretty functional, pretty well done unit. Final thoughts wise, let's get the negatives out of the way. There's still some Hot Toys issues or 1/6 scale issues where a lot of the stuff doesn't sit naturally. It just doesn't sink into gravity the right way. Other than that, I wish there was something more to do with those two throwing knives or whatever they are, or if there is something to do, I wish it was explained. The articulation is a little hindered. I really wish there was a joint from the neck into the head. That would have helped with some real personality coming through on the figure that sometimes is difficult to come through. It's easy for the kind of presence and almost swagger of the character to come through, but in order to get like the personality to really shine through, a separate joint from the neck to the head would have been appreciated. You could have really put some attitude into that, so that would have been cool. And then the rest of my stuff is real nitpicky. I wish the guns fit in the holsters a little better. I wish the material still didn't bunch up in weird places. That just throws me off. But that's a 1/6 scale thing, I think. Those are really my only real issues here. But shocker, I really like this figure. I really like it a lot. It's I can see myself owning something like this if I was really into one character, like heavy. You know, the materials do move smoothly around the figure for the most part. There's a couple places where it bunches up, like we already talked about, but for the most part, everything moves smoothly. The accessories are fantastic and thoughtful. The eye swapping gimmick is great, and not that it hasn't been done before, but the way it is done is seamless. Like I said, one of the best display bases ever. I love the weapons. The figure looks cool. I think if you're a diehard Deadpool fan, like, you need this in your life. You know, like, you just need it. You need it posed up on the shelf and done. This has opened my eyes a little bit. This is definitely something where, like, I can appreciate the figure now. Like, I couldn't even really appreciate 1/6 scale before. I just haven't bumped into anything that I've really been impressed with. I get it. I get it with this. Still not for me, but I get it. I understand. So yeah, the articulation is, I don't know, it's a little bit more efficient than what I'm used to with 1/6. Like, it's still not great, and it still looks awkward when you put it in most dynamic poses, but with the base kind of adding in to kind of hold the figure for you to get it in the more extreme, like, you know, it works. Like, there's nothing about this to make me say it doesn't work. I think it's really smart. I think there's a lot of passion here. I think there's a lot of love here. Still not for me, but pretty good figure. And if you're into 1/6 scale figures, or if you're really into Deadpool, I definitely recommend it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Andy also comes with one of the best display pieces. Andy also comes with one of the best. Andy also comes with one of the best display pieces. Oh my God.